It's New Year's Day. I am halfway through a 5 kilometre jog. It's not that great, the weather. It's basically raining. I am in the middle of nowhere, feeling flabby. I'm forcing myself to go out for this jog. So let's go. So why am I doing this? Well, I think most of us would probably admit that sitting on the sofa on a day like today would be a nice scenario. And I must admit I have done a little bit of that today. However, I was procrastinating. I was telling myself today I will go for that jog. And now, as you might be able to see, it's probably, I don't know what time it is, 3:30, coming up to 4 o'clock maybe. The sun is going down. So if I didn't do it now, I wasn't going to get out. And I kind of told myself that I would try and set myself a goal for January. So I've said I will do a minimum of 100 kilometers in January. But ideally, I'd like to do more than that. So I should probably set myself a bigger goal, but also I don't want to do that thing where I demoralise myself when I realise I might not reach the 200 kilometre target or whatever. Hold on a second. So, running up a slight incline, finding it quite difficult. I'm not totally unfit. I do jogs. I never really do much more than 5k. I have done a half marathon cross country before, but I trained for that maybe a couple of years ago. And last March 2024, last minute I signed up to nearly a half marathon hill run, and I hated it. I wanted to love it. I really wanted to love it, but I hated it. I just wasn't fit, and I was annoyed with myself, and you just go around your head and beat yourself up that you should have trained and all that stuff. So you still haven't answered the question, have you, Brown? Nope. So back to why I'm doing this. It's all too easy to get lazy, and I don't want to be not able to run, be fit, be active if I have a family, if I have kids. I'm approaching my mid-40s. I don't want to be just in decline into the next 20-30 years if I get there. And I love being outside, you know. It's all too easy to get sucked into the comforts of indoor life. And then you find yourself eating and drinking the wrong things, and it's like a vicious cycle. So I have to work hard to stay vaguely fit. And I have aspirations. I'm still inspired by some amazing endurance athletes and people out there who do incredible things. And all I'm doing is doing a 5k jog on New Year's Day. And we'll try to keep it up. So let's go. It's funny because I've done this particular jog many times over the last 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4 years, and you rarely see anyone. Like, you do see dog walkers, but it's funny how few people, especially my age and younger, you pretty much never see that, which is a shame. So I don't know, maybe if I inspire, and that sounds arrogant, I don't mean that in an arrogant way, but if 1 or 2 people get off the sofa, they watch this, get off the sofa and go outside when they wouldn't have done before, I'd be really happy. And I think that's the only way we can sort of make change. Just stopping, technical break, technical issue. I'm so glad I wore my waterproof shoes today to keep my white socks nice and dry. However, there was a slight problem. I'll reenact it. There's some people coming. Oh, no problem. I'll just go around the edge here. Yeah. Oh, I feel like Gollum. Even in the dusk, on a fairly minging New Year's Day, it's still very picturesque. And importantly, aside from the sort of health aspect and benefits of jogging, of doing some exercise, which, you know, helps with mental health and just clearing your head. Some people jog and they think about things in depth. I seem to just think about the pain and pushing myself to do another step, which, don't let that put you off, but everyone's different. But obviously there comes a point, and I know this from previous training for things, that and I say training like I've been doing like climbing Everest, I'm talking about just a little bit of a jog, like a half marathon, which I think most people are capable of if they really want to. But what am I rambling on about? Training. Yeah, you definitely reach a point where, for me, I always start to feel a little bit lighter. The jogging gets slightly easier, and then it's like a perpetual kind of cycle. Like, you get a little bit fitter, you go a bit faster, you continue to get a bit fitter, and obviously it depends on your nutrition and all those other aspects in your life. But in a crazy, chaotic world, this for me is amazing. It's just to be, I'm a sociable person, but I just don't want to be around people 24/7, which is what it sometimes feels like. Yeah, I do like to ramble. Let's just get on with it, Brown. Get on with the run. Where are we going? We're going down here, and then we're going over there. Whoop. Happy New Year. Having a good day? No, it's fine. Having just said I don't want to be sociable. Sorry to interrupt you. So there we go, I'm done. Just about 5.3 kilometres, meandering, rambling, gibbering along the way. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how fast I did it. It's not about that. It's just about getting out, forcing myself to do something I didn't want to do. And it doesn't have to be jogging. It could be anything. It could be walking. Whatever someone's sort of starting point is, it doesn't matter. I just think it is good to get out. Oh, that is bright. So it's the 2nd of January. It's about 7 o'clock. My nose is running. This is probably very flattering. I've just started on maybe a kilometre and a half into a jog. I just saw some deer. A little bit spooky. I'm on my own on a country lane, but I just prefer having the freedom to run, not having to stop for cars and things in town. My legs hurt. I really can't be bothered. It's below freezing right now, so I will crack on. I always enjoy this Christmas tree, which won't be here for much longer. Well, the tree probably will, maybe not the lights. There's a pack of deer over here. You can see their eyes in my head torch. So just under 4 kilometres done, and a little bit freaked out by the dark, I have to admit. It's just the unknown noises, and it's the deer. I've seen about a dozen deer and muntjac, which I really like, but it's quite creepy having these little eyes staring back at you, and I'm outnumbered. Oh, I think I scared a pheasant. Monday the 6th, I think, of January. So far I'm about 2k into this jog, and how far am I up to now? I'm about 20, I've actually forgotten, 22 kilometres so far in January. So I'm averaging 4 or 5 kilometres a day, something like that. I need to sort of keep this going, which is going to be the difficult thing, the endurance, but so far it's going okay. Quite muddy today, so it feels a little bit like you're running in sand or mud, but I have to persevere. So I'm heading around the edge of this field, and I've got my head torch because it's going to get dark while I'm on this jog. I don't know how far I'm going to go. My legs feel quite good. Let's see. A bit later on this jog, the way I've chosen to go, I reach a track which will be a little bit easier to jog on, and then I'm back into the fields for the last section. but I just way prefer this to running in a gym. I mean, I'm not dissing gyms at all. I've been a member of gyms for a few years on and off, not at the moment, but you know, in the winter they're particularly useful. But I've told myself that I'm just forcing myself to, I'm saving on the subscription of the gym, but I'm getting out and enjoying the scenery and the quietness and the solitude, and that's why I'm choosing to do this. And also I think it's good for your muscles rather than just running on a sort of conveyor belt. You know, you're having to adapt tiny little muscles in your legs, accounting for sort of a non-flat surface. Anyway, stop the gibbering, get on with a jog. It's blurry, no real surprise, but there's the moon, and I'm on this nice avenue of trees. Maybe you'll be able to see it silhouetted. So I'm heading straight down, following those pylons, and I'm going to decided to mix it up slightly and head back on the road for the last couple of K. See you in a sec. Yep, that's muddy. And again, wet. This is the bridle way, so it gets quite well used and churned up. Okay, I'm at 6K. Can you see me? Why do I ask rhetorical questions to a camera when there's no one else here? Because even if anyone watches this, I still can't hear you. Anyway, I'm at 6K. Gonna do the last kilometre or so back into town. That'll put me on somewhere near 30K. I think I did 7 yesterday, so I'm probably gonna have a rest tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm back from, where's the camera? There. I'm back from 7K jog, gentle jog, very muddy, very wet, not easy to get much traction, but I've done it, and I'm up to just over 29 kilometres so far this month, this year, which I'm pleased about. So we're looking good, we're on track. I am having a glass of squash because I am basically 7. One of the thoughts that I had towards the end of my jog was about, well, 2 of the thoughts I had. One is ability. So everyone's got to start somewhere. So you could be in bad shape for whatever reason, and you might be thinking, well, how am I ever going to run for a mile or a couple of kilometres or even a kilometre? But everyone has to start somewhere. So I think the general advice would, and the sensible thing to do, is just to start walking, then increase that, do it regularly. Consistency is always the key. Then start to walk quicker, and then maybe do intermittent, do 2 minutes of walking and 20 seconds of jogging slowly, and just build it up slowly but steadily. But it's all about forcing yourself to do it and going, I will do that regardless today. I've told myself I'm going to do it, and commit to it. I went off on a tangent there. I was going to head down calories and weight loss, which is not what I want to talk about and not what's important to me. It's about feeling good in myself, feeling fit and healthy. Anyway, so number 1 was about ability and starting. You know, everyone's got to have a starting point. It doesn't matter where that is. And then you just try and push yourself. Now, related to that is injury, because I have a bad back since Christmas. I've always had a bad back since my early 30s when I started building. I've seen the chiropractor about it. One of the things that has always helped is yoga, which I haven't been doing recently, so I must get back into that. But injury can happen, obviously, at the least expected time. You know, you don't know, you could twist an ankle, you could just develop a niggling pain. But the back, yesterday I went out for a jog, and within the first minute I stopped and I thought, I don't think I'm going to do this because my back is hurting like with every step, and maybe I'm going to make this worse. However, I thought that is a good excuse to stop and go back and sit on the sofa, or I could just gently carry on slowly which I did, and sure enough, my back started to ease up a little bit. And as the jog progressed, the pain didn't go away, but it was definitely lessened. And I then had a salt bath, and it's better today. And I think, you've got to know your limits, but also that can be an excuse for not pushing yourself. So I'm not advocating that you carry on doing something when you're in pain. Of course not. But you've got to listen to your body within reason. And sometimes exercise and movement, ironically, might help. Everyone's different. But obviously in this situation, I just felt that if I could keep going, that maybe it would ease up. And it did, because I kind of know my body now, now that I'm 28. So there's a fine line between pushing through a slight niggle and a slight pain, which may not be severe and not making it worse, and then doing something that could obviously make things worse, and that ruins everything. So just take it easy, and sometimes you have to have a rest day. Obviously there are these amazing athletes out there who do back-to-back marathons week in, week out. Superhuman. I don't know how these people do it, but obviously they are also the cat is scratching something. They are also making sure that they're not just going out and doing a marathon. They are doing everything that's involved with the stretching, the warm up, the warm down, whatever their routine might be. And they didn't just start doing marathons, they worked up from doing a mile. So everyone has to start there. But the more you do, the easier it becomes. Just doing some stretching down here in the lounge, and a little bit of an obstacle came in. Want to do some stretching? Downward facing cat? Why am I doing this? It's Wednesday the 8th of January. It's about freezing, literally freezing, the temperature. I'm a couple of K into this jog. I didn't jog yesterday. I donated blood. And obviously it's not very sensible, and even today I should be taking it easy, so I will just take it easy. I'm going slowly because I have to, because it's snowing at the moment and it is settling, so it's quite slippery and a bit treacherous underfoot. So obviously in these conditions I'm on my own. My wife knows where I am, but I have to be careful. So let's do this. I'm following these tracks. I just passed a jogger about 5 minutes ago. He looked very fit. And I can kind of tell that he's like a lot fitter than me because of the spacing of his feet. I'm pretty sure this is him. I can't imagine many other people are coming out tonight. So good on him. Hola! So it's Friday, whatever the date is in January, I don't know, and it's just before 5 o'clock and it's very much dusk. I'm just squeezing this run in before the sun fully goes down. I've got my head torch obviously, but I didn't jog yesterday. It was so icy and it was pitch black when I got home from work, so I thought the sensible thing would be to give it a miss. So I'm a bit behind, but let's see, I'll chip away, see if I can. I've got time. It's only the 8th, 9th? I'm not sure. TBC. It's the 10th. I was way off, which means I'm basically a third of the way through the month, of course. So I'm definitely behind. Partly because of a rest day here and there, and partly because of the ice. But again, I can't let that be an excuse. And today I'm struggling. Right from the first kilometre, my legs felt tight and tired. It's really cold. I don't know, it's below freezing. Don't know if that plays any part of it or whether I'm just not fit enough. Anyway, let's crack on. Let's go.
Shoes and there's nowhere to go. I put on my new shorts and there's nothing but snow. Every minute has to come to an end to keep pretending it's all worthwhile. The man in the white shirt's on a quest against time, even if it's only to the shop to buy wine. All the people in the street are in a hurry, though their reasons will be buried tonight. The events of life are only for a while.
Oh, you're on your phone. Always on his phone. Texting someone probably.
He's always on my phone.
The wanderer's walking through the east in the trail. His eyes and mind taking every detail. Once his home, the vision's flown to the unknown, and only the camera can take him back. Anonymous heart is desperate to be heard. Idea of fame dominates every.
And we're done. Second jog of the day. So second jog of the day, I need to make up some kilometres. I am going around town today because I just don't fancy running in the dark again today. So I've got a route going around the suburbs just to pick up maybe 3k or something like that. So let's crack on. So 3.25k to finish today, just to top it up. And I finished at the church. Just finished the jog along the canal here. And I'm in a very peaceful churchyard. There's a tree. Hello, Sunday the 12th. Late morning, I think, maybe lunchtime. No, it's lunchtime. And I'm struggling. I'm 2k into this jog. My goal is to hit 10k today. That will put me back on track on the daily kind of cumulative total to hit 150 kilometers by the end of January. I'm really struggling. I feel heavy. I took photos. I took photos of myself earlier, or rather my wife did, of me in my boxer shorts. And I got totally down about that because I knew I was heavy at the moment, and I also took pictures. My wife also took a picture of me on the scales, but I haven't seen that, so I don't know what I weigh. But I'd have a good guess, and I think it's not good. But the whole point of this is to improve, and the byproduct is that I might feel a bit happier in how I look, but that really is a byproduct. That's not the important thing for me. It's about feeling fit and healthy, and right now I definitely don't, especially on this jog. Anyway, 8k to go. Let's crack on. I'm grumpy today. I'm 3.3k into this jog, and I've only just got into the proper countryside, just past a farm outside of town, and just small things are just pissing me off, truth be told. Yeah, just small things are just annoying me, and they're totally irrational. I guess that shows something about the state of my mind today. Maybe I'm just a bit tired, maybe body and mind is just a bit frazzled, but I know that I'll feel better at the end of this jog, that's for sure, because you always do. Nice patterns, tricky conditions underfoot. It looks okay, but surprisingly slippy. This section's really nice. I think it's private land. The footpath comes through here, which is very nice. Must be slightly annoying for them in the spring or the summer, whenever it is. This whole avenue, this driveway into the land, the rhododendrons are just absolutely stunning. It's really, I mean, it's lovely now. It's like a winter wonderland. Slow going here. I normally do this the other way around on a mountain bike, which is great fun. Tricky with the mud though in the winter. I love a little avenue of Copper Beach. Morning. What's up? I'm not quite where I thought I was. I've definitely been on here before, but it's a while. It's maybe even the summer before last. Anyway, I'm definitely on a footpath, so that's all good. So all roads lead to Rome. This bit is ringing very vague bells. I'm not quite sure where I'm going. I had a quick look at the map, but it's kind of fun slightly to not know. So jogging time of 42 minutes. I'm about 2/3 of the way through, 7 point something K. So I'm okay, I'm doing all right. And one thing I'm really enjoying is switching up the trails. When I'm on my own, I can just make a last minute decision, because I know, well, apart from when I get lost, I know what goes where. So I can go, actually I'm going to go that way, head down that bridle way. And also the terrain is varied. It's single track, muddy off-road stuff, it's bridle way, it's track, it's bits of tarmac. It's quite nice and varied. I've only got 500 meters to go. I'm so knackered. I saw this bench and it looked inviting. 10k done, just walking home. Need to do some stretching. Good morning. Slightly bleary-eyed this morning. It's a little after 8 o'clock on Monday the 13th of January. I don't normally do morning jogs. Historically, I tend to avoid them. I don't know why. I think it's just in my head that I'm not a morning exercise person. But obviously this morning I thought, nope, I'm going to get out and just do a few kilometers. The sun is coming up. The sun is coming up just behind the bushes there. Turns out that if Spotify keeps playing when you're videoing, which I find unusual, you can't hear a word that I just said. Anyway, what I just said, let's go. I just made the mistake of looking at the time. I've left this a bit late. It's 11 o'clock. I've got half an hour to go, plus a walk back, maybe 10 minutes. I'm meant to be getting a train just after midday, which is probably now not going to happen. It's not the end of the world, but whoops. So 7 kilometers in, and I'm heading back into town. I haven't really done this variation, so maybe a couple of K to go, I don't know. I'm feeling quite good on the jog. My calves were very tight, but I have another problem which is causing me real distress, and that's a massive reoccurring wedgie. I really like this avenue. It's absolutely gorgeous, even now in the winter. Also, the way I'm doing this jog today means this section is downhill. It is the 21st of January. I hope you can see me. I'm very excited. This is on my new camera, the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, which I bought on a whim, and so far I've only had it today. I'm so excited. Anyway, 21st of January. If my calculations are correct, then I have just passed 100 kilometers in January, which is the most I've ever jogged in a short space of time. So I'm pretty happy with that. I know lots of people do 100 kilometers plus in a matter of days, professional athletes, but for me this is a milestone. So let's see how this camera does on this little jog. Yeah, pretty happy. 100 kilometers, which to me is a lot. I'm just a recreational runner, and legs are tired. I think I've had 5 days off, but which sounds not very much, but in 21 days, almost a quarter. Nose is dribbling. Runners dribble. That must be a thing. Although that does sound a little bit gross. Ooh, I've got a case of the runner's dribble. I often do Yorkshire accents because Roz, my wife, is from Yorkshire, so it seems fitting to take the piss out of her, especially when she's not here. Anyway, enough talking, more jogging. Come to see our furry friends.
Full of curry.
Full of curry. It's the 31st of January, it's the last day of the challenge, and I have not been filming much the last 7 or 8 days. I've had a crazy time in other things in our lives, work, houses, various other stuff. However, I've been chipping away at the mileage, and I am left on the last day with 10 kilometers, 9.9 technically, to finish, which is, I was hoping that I would exceed, this is to hit 150 kilometers. I was hoping I would finish on the last day with like 2 kilometers, and I'd exceed by a few more, but it just didn't work out like that. So it's getting dark. I've just finished decorating with my wife, and now we're going to go and do a few kilometers, and I have to finish to get over the 150 mark. Okay, how are we doing? 400 meters to go. Let's do it. I will be happy. It's been difficult squeezing this in, but I've done it. If we carry on, we could do another 50k tonight. Yeah. 300 meters. 200 meters. This is where I hope my maths is okay. Imagine that if I got the totals wrong. Oh. $150. You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, it was quite difficult doing 10k on the last day. 60 meters. 60 meters. 50, 40 meters.
I'm going to finish you.
Yes, there it is.
Well done.
150k finished. I don't know how many rest days I've had, 6 or 7. So boring stats to follow. So the challenge is over. I did it. 150 kilometers in January. It's now March, so I'm a little bit late in getting to this final section. But just looking at my extremely dull spreadsheet, I can tell you that the challenge was a cumulative total of over 14 and a half hours of jogging. What have I got? Total distance just over 150 kilometers. And 5,691 meters of elevation, if you believe my Garmin watch. So there you go. And then I sort of documented the days that I didn't jog. I had a few rest days. I played tennis a couple of times. One time it was too icy and I didn't feel comfortable running on the roads. I donated blood one time, and another time I went to Yorkshire. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So what have I learnt? I should also just add that it's very, very approximate. I know that you can't take the stats on this, they're not 100% accurate, but the VO2, which is kind of a benchmark of my aerobic capacity, the ability to absorb oxygen, something like that. That did increase by 3 points. So I think that showed that consistency and running every day did actually help with my general fitness. So what did I learn from this month of jogging most days and doing 150 kilometers? Well, the first thing was that I set myself a goal and I achieved it. And it wasn't easy. I never thought it would be. But once you break it down into a sort of daily goal of 5 kilometers and factor in some rest days and some longer runs to make up for that, it's all achievable. And I kept an eye on any sort of niggling injuries. So I mentioned earlier that I had that back issue. Well, that pretty much went away, and I was careful with that. I then developed a bit of a sore knee on the outside of my left knee after about 7 kilometers on certain jogs. I think that's probably just sort of overuse and perhaps because I'm a little bit heavy. But it didn't prevent me from doing it, and I didn't, create a worse injury through jogging gently. So also I learned consistency is key. So just making sure I did it when I was accountable to myself. And if I said I'm going to jog today, I'm going to do however many kilometers, I go out and do it. And that was a great sense of accomplishment. Just doing those little, having those little daily wins. I love being outside. I enjoyed the process of actually filming. If anything, it was a little bit of an excuse, a respite points to just have a break, film for 20 seconds and then carry on. So although I didn't run continuously on each jog, I ran every single step of that 150 kilometers, and I made sure that I was generous on when I started and stopped the watch. So I know that I exceeded the 150 kilometers. What else did I learn? Oh, joggers dribble. something else I learned. And also extreme wedgies can be an uncomfortable thing. Chafing also. But I think the main overall thing that I learned from this challenge to myself is that it was very achievable, and I feel like I could have gone further, and now I'm thinking, well, I could do 200, or I could, I don't want to do another running challenge right now because I want to do something different, but I feel like I could have surpassed that, and there, at no point did I think I was close to my limit. I was definitely I was tired and lacking motivation some days, but I did it, and I think I could have done more. So I really hope that if you are watching this, if you have watched this, that if there's a challenge that you've been considering, whatever that might be, just go and try it. Just go and do it. Get started. Don't make excuses. Get outdoors. Enjoy everything that is on offer outside, and just have fun.